Tony, it is still technically Saturday.
Just barely.
Just barely, but so first I'll answer your question of the week. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Star Wars. Sorry I got sick this week and didn't get to run it. And yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to Masks 2 Electric Boogaloo because I'm really excited to play in a game with both you and my friend Jeff because I've DM'd games, but I've never played in one with you guys. So I'm looking forward to that. So this week was kind of hit and miss. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday were fine. Thursday, Friday, I got sick. It was just a stomach bug, which was unfortunate and uncomfortable, but it was. I feel much better today than I did yesterday and the day before, so that's good. But no, so this week it was not bad. Again, kind of hit and miss because I got sick, but otherwise, you can't really complain too much. Ended up today actually was a really good day. So there were a couple of my friends from law school who I hadn't seen in a really long time. Like, since even like pre-code, I hadn't seen him in a while before then. So I ended up getting lunch with a couple of them today. It was really nice. I actually went antiquing with them too, which was kind of funny. It was, you might have heard me mention my friends Chris and Brendan, who I went to law school with. They were in my study group, so we did work together for a long time while we were in law school. We decided to all get together one day and say, you know what, we haven't done this in a really long time, so you know what, let's go, and I'm taking my glasses off so you're not getting the glare from the TV. So like, yeah, let's all go out and let's have a bite to eat and let's hang out because it had been so long, and it was wonderful. Like truly, I had a great time. Antiquing is not really my scene necessarily, but it was fine. Still really enjoyed it. But today, actually, this morning was also really cool. So I actually had an interview with a big criminal firm that would be really cool. Again, there's no guarantee. Like, I like where I'm at and everything, but it's still like it's a criminal law firm that does work in Connecticut and potentially Mass in the future, which is really nice. It's also kind of the area I want to get into. It also is more public interest. So it turned out really well. I'm going to be having a second interview in a couple weeks, so that's cool too. But otherwise, yeah, it was today was pretty good. Again, Thursday and Friday weren't. So it was about noon on Thursday was when I started getting sick, and then by the time when it hit that night, I got really sick, and so I missed work the next day because I just was not feeling well. I started to feel better around 3 p.m. or so yesterday, which is kind of what I expected. I expected it to be like a 24-hour stomach bug, which is pretty much what it was. And I started feeling just fine afterwards. But it's still not a great way to end a week sick, especially because I had a lot of work I still need to do at work. And Thursday, Friday were going to be supposed to be like my big days where I'd be able to get a lot of it done because we didn't have as much production, didn't have as much motions I had to draft. But clearly that didn't happen. So Monday's going to be a little interesting when I go into work, just to kind of see what the whole shindig is going to be. My boss was out this week on vacation, so we're going to have a lot we're going to have to go over just because that's what happens every time he goes out on vacation. But otherwise, because Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday were fine. I think on Tuesday I actually went climbing with my friend John and his son Perry, which was fun. John's scared of heights, so it was definitely hard for him to go climbing. And his son really kind of echoed that in a way. Like I've seen him climb many times, but I think because John was having a lot of issues on the walls, Perry was too. So like I had a good time, but it wasn't. I thought. I mean, I remember when you and I were kids, how if there was a rock while we were climbing it, I remember like all the times we went to like Bemis Point or, even when I would go to Kent State every here and there to would go and climb at the rock wall. So I just thought of like, oh hey, a kid loves to climb, and I really think he would have had John not been scared of heights because Perry really echoes his dad in a lot of ways. Which I mean, I guess I understand because I know I echoed dad in a lot of ways, and it was kind of rough. They ended up enjoying it. They had a good time in the end, but it was definitely like working through a lot of fear, which was kind of it was interesting and it wasn't what I expected because again I thought, oh, kid will climb all over the place, but it was kind of a little harder to work. And in the end, like we got in the end. In the end, I enjoyed it and they had fun, which is really what matters. But it was kind of it was interesting. It wasn't exactly what I expected. So this week in sports was a pretty wild week. This is gonna be a real haphazard video if you haven't noticed. So the big news, besides NFL training camp starting, was Simone Biles. So Simone Biles is the greatest gymnast of all time, hands down, bar none. She does things that are just ridiculous and like impossible for other people to do. In fact, she was actually getting docked points because her routines were too challenging for other people, which I have opinions on that. But she ended up actually basically stepping down from the Olympics, basically saying, no, I need to improve my mental health. Like, this is not okay right for me right now. Like, I am not okay, and I will hurt myself or somebody else. And I really respected that. So one thing that I've noticed is anytime there's a celebrity involved, people tend to put them on a pedestal, like, and that goes doubly so for pro athletes, especially pro athletes who are just as incredibly talented as someone like Simone Biles. And you see people like go in and say, "Oh, she's not the real greatest. A real great would keep on going. They wouldn't quit." But that's just dumb for many reasons. First off, mental health is real health. Your mental health is just as important as your physical health. And the fact that the world hasn't caught on to that is still just distressing. And even further, like, yes, sir, like, you can have a bad day at a sport. Like, okay, if I play football, I have a bad day. Oh, I'm going to throw 3 interceptions and fumble the ball twice. Which, yeah, sucks. But that level of danger isn't quite the same as a gymnast. Like, the routines that they do, if they don't land it, they can cause death or serious injury to themselves. Like, I've heard stories of people who were like trampoline gymnasts, and they've done the same routine 1,000 times, but on the 1,001st time, they landed incorrectly, landed on their neck, broke their neck, and became paraplegic. And if you're in the right mental state, because what Simone Biles said is, like, she was losing herself during her routines. She lost herself in the air, which, from what I understand, again, I'm not a gymnast, but from what I understand of it, it means, like, she didn't know where her feet were, where she was going to land. And that's horrifying. Like, I saw someone bring up a really good point of, like, think of it like driving. If you've been driving 1,000 times, but on the 1,001st time, something happens and, like, you don't realize where your legs are. You don't realize, like, you have to manually kind of, like, put yourself back on track to drive. And that's horrifying because you're going super fast. It can cause serious injury. And it's the same for a gymnast. If it comes to a point where what they do is not manual anymore, or is not involuntary anymore, like, where their bodies just go with it, you're going to get freaked out there because you're not going to be able to have that same setup of, like, oh, I know where I'm going to land. I know how I'm going to do this. And I think I think Simone Biles is incredible and is taking a huge stand. Like, she doesn't have anything left to prove. She has the most gold medals of any gymnast in the history of the Olympics. And the fact people are like, no, she gave up on the team. No, she didn't. She actually she helped the team. Because if she missed a landing, even if it didn't cause any serious injury, that would cost points. Whereas stepping down and saying, no, I'm not in a mental state to do this, it allows someone else to take the spot who is in a mental state, who might be able to do as well. And this happened this year. The person who kind of took over for her during the the individual all-arounds, won gold, which was cool. But I think we need to respect people like Simone Biles, who are like, my mental health is a serious issue for me, and I need to make sure that gets taken care of first. Because our athletes and celebrities are the exact same as us deep down. They're just people. And people are entitled to be free from outside influence like that. So, Tony, my question for you, because I know you don't care anything about sports, do you have any big plans for this fall? Tony, I'll see you on Monday. Later, bro.